Welcome to episode number 4 of Techbuds podcast. Today we have a special guest. His name's Kyle Williams. He's one of my buddies. Today, Kyle, Jake, myself, Justin, Ricky, and I are just going to be shooting the crap and talking game. And so go ahead and introduce yourself, Kyle.
Yeah.
Where are you born? Where are you from? What's your background?
I'm born in California. Kyle Williams, born in the Bay Area. Grew up in Chicago and then moved out here when I was a junior in high school. From there, the sports world just kind of took off and went to ASU to play both sports. Only kind of veered towards football once, success started to take place and started to get comfortable in that setting. And then it was on from there. NFL from there for 6 years. There's a lot within that that I'm sure we'll get to. But since then, just been trying to kind of navigate life, the after experience, the transition as everybody talks about, and just trying to kind of find my footing instead, because if you don't, we've all seen stories of guys that just go by the wayside. So, that's been a real challenge, but, I think I've kind of found it and kind of settling in this real estate thing.
Dude, that's so dope. Yeah, there's so many people that people don't realize, when you're playing sports, your realistic timeline to play sports isn't going to be a Tom Brady. You're not going to be 50 years old throwing the ball.
The average length is what, 3-4 years in NFL?
Not even. I mean, it keeps going down. It keeps going down, and I think now it's 1.2 or 1.4 years is the average lifespan in the NFL, and there's just so many guys coming in year after year that can play, and there's not a lot of spots. Every single year, I think there's something like 800-900 guys that get cut from training camp. So that's 800, 900 guys every single year that's looking for a new avenue after you've, done this for your entire life. It's like asking a lawyer, you've been to law school, or a doctor, you've been to med school. Hey, go do something else now. Just go do it and figure it out quickly because you need to make some money. So it's tough. It's tough to find your footing.
Dude, 100%. So real estate's kind of like what you're focusing on now, which is interesting. Obviously, we do real estate and stuff. So it's like great networking just
for sure.
In general, obviously being a friend for you for years now. But you want to start off with some questions, Jacob? Because Jacob obviously doesn't really know you that well.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Yeah,
man.
I'm a fan of football for
There
sure.
we
So
go.
a couple simple questions. Just want to know, what team did you play for?
So I was drafted in 2010 to the 49ers.
Okay.
I was there for about 4 seasons, then went to the Chiefs, then went to the Broncos. Got a ring with the Broncos, which was cool. I was supposed to bring it, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
But got a ring with the Broncos and then had a quick cup of coffee with the Jets before, the career was over with. But,
awesome.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning
Yeah.
throwing you the ball.
Oh, yeah. For a hot second, I mean, as we'll get into, I had a ton of injuries, and that was one of the years that was included in that. I missed that whole season with an Achilles. And that was surgery number 4 out of 5 on this leg within that 5-year span. So it was I got the full experience. I say it like that.
You got a couple balls from Peyton Manning for sure, though.
And, practice, we got some stuff in.
Yeah.
And, I've gotten to see the sheriff work up close, with how he kind of breaks things down and how he expects you to act in the film room. I sat right behind him. I was doing everything I could to be, that slot receiver for him at that stage in his career. I felt like that would be very lucrative for me. And then, anatomy took over, I guess. And So.
So how does the NFL treat you after you're not in the NFL anymore?
That's a
Do they
great question.
Give you free tickets to games? Do you
Well,
homie hookups, anything like that?
That kind of stuff, there's so many relationships you still have that are in there. You can call somebody you played with and that kind of thing. As far as the team, it really depends on your relationship with that particular team. I know I can call the 49ers and they would love to have me at any time.
Yeah.
The teams I've played for, I know that that's okay. But I know that there's some guys and there's some teams that, when you're gone, you're gone. Do not show, don't
No
show back up. We don't want to see you. We don't want to hear from you.
Yeah.
It's a very, the stories you hear about the NFL being very cutthroat and very heartless, those are real.
Yeah.
There's a reason they're out there. So, but how they treat you as a whole, this is a very interesting and very deep topic, actually, because there's a big kind of controversy going on with the after career disability stuff and, the guys that are dealing with these problems after their career trying to get benefits and trying to get taken care of.
Yeah.
And a lot of these guys, myself included, we have laundry lists worth of injuries and, post-career issues. And they kind of throw them to the wayside.
Yeah.
and not everybody gets the benefits that they deserve. And a lot of guys, a lot of guys do, but a lot of guys do not. And then, unfortunately, those are the same kind of guys you're seeing as the headlines on TV of doing something to themselves, or you see them doing some criminal activity, trying to find a way to make some money. That is highly due to this process because it keeps you in a box where you can't work. If you work, your disability is out the window. Your benefits are out of the window because you're working. And it's something that you actually deserve from the work you've done in the past. So, and the residuals that you'll deal with in the future. So it's tough, and if you get denied, you kind of have to stay in this box and not pursue anything, in your work life because it might mar your benefits. And you need those benefits by the time you turn 50 and you can't move around anymore. It's a very, very tough dynamic.
What do you think about, I don't know, do you still keep up to date with watching football?
Oh, man,
these
see,
games?
I got 3 fantasy teams.
Yeah.
So if you see me Sunday, I got every game on. I don't really miss a play.
So yesterday's game, what do you think about that whole controversy with the quarterback not getting cleared, right?
This is close to home for me as well because I suffered a ton of concussions. I had a situation in which I entered a game, or I went back into play after I had a very severe concussion. Too early. And it was catastrophic what happened in that game. And I've never really spoke about it because it sounds too much like an excuse, so I just kind of leave it where it is. But that hit home to me because we all saw Sunday. When you
I was scared.
you were scared Sunday, right? Yeah.
Yeah. On Sunday, I'm no medical expert, but to me that looked like a concussion.
We have to apply the common sense barometer here. Like the guy was stumbling as he was walking off the field.
The only issue, he said it was a pinch in his back.
Yeah.
So that's the only issue is you can't.
I do have a question for you, though.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So, if we're all concussed in here, is he going to listen to anything that we're saying?
Yeah, no, you're right.
If we've just sustained a head injury, do we think we're thinking rationally, right?
I agree.
And from having so many, bro, you go into autopilot a lot of times. If you're not completely knocked out, just go right back into autopilot. I've played an entire game, a few entire games, and had no recollection of what happened.
Yeah.
Going back to college, I had a game against Oregon. I got back home after I was watching it with my family and was asking, when did we play this? When did we do this? I missed my game. They're like, no, you're like right there. That just happened a few hours ago.
I mean, I'm not an NFL player or anything, but back in the day, me and my brother used to play with a couple friends in the park, just playing football, whatever, tackle football, no pads or anything, and it's embarrassing now, but I tackled my brother and I got a concussion. And I couldn't remember a thing.
It's all relative, though. That's a head injury at that age when you were playing against people that were your age. It's all relative. Going all the way back to Pop Warner, it's all relative. So I don't know.
What do you think they're going to do with that? Because I see a lot of people saying they need to investigate the health protocol.
I do think they do. There's an extreme gray area here where, I think that common sense barometer needs to be applied where obviously the NFL has their independent medical staff, and a lot of times they err on the side of caution when it comes to that, and they let him back in. Yeah. So, and that doesn't have anything to do with the Dolphins staff. It doesn't have to do with, that's the NFL's third party.
It's like third party now. Ever since kind of that CTE whole movie came out and everything.
This is something that we, I guess the NFLPA and the NFL voted on. We as former players don't get a vote, which is weird, but that's what they voted on. To kind of get to have a third party investigator that takes a look, and I guess they looked and they thought he was okay. But man, when you stumble like that after getting hit, and it was an apparent head, that
was a hard little whiplash.
That head hitting the turf is bad. That's really bad. It's concrete.
In a Thursday game, it wasn't even 4 days
later. 4 days later, you don't even give them the full. I don't know. I feel like regardless of what the medical staff says in that situation, if I'm the head coach, and again, we're not, so it is what it is. But
you're like a competitor, so if you're in that position,
you're gonna play with a gunshot wound if you can,
right?
You know what I mean? Like we're wired that way. Like, and
that's what it takes.
A guy like Tua, they've been trying to say he's not as good as he is. They've been trying to. There's a lot of hate on him.
Prove himself,
and he's been killing this year. So of course he's gonna want to get back out there and be there for his guys. But you got to protect us from us in that situation.
Yeah, seeing the replays yesterday and seeing his fingers and what happened is
disturbing.
It's disturbing.
It is very disturbing
because it's neurological. You can tell it's dangerous.
It's bad.
It's bad by any means. And no one really knows the long-term effect of that. Like, we can sit here and be like, oh yeah, that's bad, like he's gonna have to miss some games, but no one really knows, like, when he leaves the league in 10, 15 years or whatever, he's gonna deal with some things.
I've had, going through my workers' comp stuff and the disability stuff, I've had a change in the perspective that I have on concussions and head hits. And this was a neurologist that told me this, and he's been in it for over 40 years. He said, we have looked at concussions the wrong way since this game's inception. Your bell got rung, hop back in there. You got shaken up a little bit, hop back in there. He said, those are concussions. We just think concussions are when you get knocked out. No, those are severe concussions where you lost consciousness. Those other ones are still concussions. And I'm like, well, damn, how many do you think I've had? And he's like, well, you were a kick returner, a punt returner, and a receiver. How many times do you think you got your bell rung per day? And I'm like,
oh, shit.
I don't know. And he kind of went into the math, and he's like, you've had well over 500 concussions, and your counterparts have had probably more. Those guys on defense, they've had more
every day.
Yeah. That's what they do, So, I always get the question on if I'm gonna let my kids one day play.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what have you seen after getting out of the NFL? What injuries are you dealing with on a daily basis right now?
How much time do we have on here?
As much time as you need,
man. We got, man. So when I told you guys about that cup of coffee with the Jets, and during camp, then, and this is after, I'll get into some of the more severe concussions I've had, but I had one in camp there. I was diving for a ball. The corner that was guarding me kind of tripped over me in the back of, or his knee hit the back of my head right here. And it displaced my jaw a little bit, and it knocked me out. You can see it on the film. I'm on the ground for a good 10 seconds, not moving. They run to me. I hop up, autopilot, and I'm like,
you're ready to go, huh?
I know that this is my last year playing. I've had 4 knee surgeries already and an Achilles surgery. This is my last shot, and I'm playing really well. So I'm like, I'm good. They're like, you sure? I'm like, I'm good. Pop the thing back in a crazy pain, but just rolling, right? Obviously, I was done within like a week. Like, you can't operate at that level. Your body starts moving funny. I stepped a weird way, and I actually messed up my knee again, so I was done.
Yeah, when your body's disaligned like
it's
that.
It's all messed up. Yeah, you're stepping funny. You're moving funny. It's uneasy how you're playing. You're all messed up. Yeah. And so then 3 months after that, I never got any treatment or anything. I'm walking up the stairs of my house, and I had to sit on the stairs because I'm getting lightheaded. I had a wall in front of the stairs. I passed out, fell through the wall head first, missing studs on either side by centimeters on either side.
Straight through the drywall?
Right through, head first, right through. I wake up like probably 10 minutes later based on like what my roommate said they heard, and I walk upstairs, and I'm completely distraught. I guess I just face plant onto my bed, and they come and see me. I got drywall all on my back, and
holy shit,
they take me to the hospital. They're like, bro, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Man, I had this issue that I was passing out for about 2 years after that, and it just kept happening, the passing out thing. And I got diagnosed with something called POTS, and it's a blood flow thing if you get up too quick, kind of like vertigo, but if you get up too quick, your blood flow might not come with you. And and it's happened in the worst situations. I mean, I've gotten in the car, and it just, it was bad for a while. So and then the memory loss, all these things that you kind of hear about, these are real things for us. Like, and we talk amongst each other, like, can you dealing with some of this stuff? It's a hard conversation to have too. And, when you find out, when you start having it, you find out that, oh my God, there's so many of us dealing with these same things. Yeah. And so it's prevalent. And we'll get into a little bit later, but some of the stuff that I got help with, some neuro EEG feedback, and a company that I'm actually on board with now, they saved my life, bro. I would not be here talking to you guys right now if I did not do this therapy. It actually is a way to
I want to hear more about that.
Yeah,
hey, maybe a lot of people, if people do watch this, they might not know about it.
This is a big thing, and it's coming. It's Calvin Johnson's involved with it. RG3 is really big involved in it too. It's Hugh Jackson's involved in it. This is huge, and it's going to save a lot of guys' lives.
Yeah.
It really is. It saved mine.
Yeah, let's get into that in a second. I have one last question, kind of a little dumb question, but obviously You were in Madden, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What did that feel like when you
That was
first
the
saw
best
yourself
feeling
in a
ever, bro.
video
Oh,
game?
it was the best feeling ever.
How many
Because-
touchdowns do you score a season?
Bro, with myself, unlimited, like
Yeah.
however many you can. Like,
Yeah,
I'm coming home every day, like, why don't they just do this shit with me in the real game? Like,
Yeah.
just throw it to me 100 times.
So was that probably one of the coolest experiences?
It was.
Seeing
There's
yourself
so
in a
many.
video game? I mean,
Yeah, the video game, meeting guys like Randy Moss, he was my
Yeah.
teammate for a little bit. Like,
That's insane.
come on, like Peyton Manning again, like
Yeah.
DeMarcus Ware, Von Miller. These guys are my teammates. They're my boys. Like that to me, I'm still a fan.
Yeah.
You know, I still look at everything from a fan perspective because I was since I was this big. So being able to be peers with these guys, Pat Willis, Navarro Bowman, these guys they're going to be Hall of Famers.
Yeah. So
and they're my constituents, or my friends,
Yeah.
my coworkers. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
So a question we ask a lot of our guests when we've only had a few, but when did you know that you were good at what you did?
Ooh,
Football, for instance. When did
That's
you
a good
realize that you
question.
were
that I was
at the
probably
level
high school.
enough to make it into the NFL?
Oh, to the league.
Yeah.
That was college, man. Probably my
College?
second year in college.
Okay.
Second year in college. My first year, like we were talking about earlier, the first year of anything, right? You're still learning, you're sponging up. My first year, I played maybe 4 or 5 games. Didn't really play too much.
Injuries back then?
Not too much.
No?
Not too
Okay.
much. Concussions and stuff like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
because you're just getting your bell rung. But
Yeah.
nothing major when I was in college. A couple nicks here and there, but
Yeah.
nothing major. But my second year is when I kind of turned the corner. I had a incredible receivers coach who came in. He's the receivers coach for the Rams right now, and you guys see what they've been doing with Cooper Kupp and all them.
Yeah.
This guy was with the Niners before, Yarbs. He was the best, and he kind of transformed me to being an athlete to a real-life NFL receiver. And it started then, man, and that's when I got that. It's a big confidence thing, being at that level, playing against these guys.
It is.
Knowing
yeah.
you can belong and that you do belong and that getting rid of that, that predisposed anxiety that you just have because it's 75,000 in the stadium.
Yeah.
And knowing you just belong here is a big deal. It's really in you and it's not on you. And once you figure that out, it's you just play from then on. It's more free.
Yeah.
Probably like that with scootering too.
Yeah.
This dude was one of the best scooterers
I
in
used
the
to be a
world back
professional
in the day.
scooter rider, which
Professional anything,
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean? No matter what you're doing, if you're a professional at it, that means that you had to get to at some point where you're like, I'm good at this, and I'm confident in my ability, and now I can stop thinking about it, and I can just roll.
Exactly. Yeah, going to competitions and stuff, I used to be so nervous, and then you really realize, I was above that level of everyone else.
Yeah.
Which, it is nerve-wracking.
There's something to be said about you wouldn't have been in that room if you weren't supposed to be.
Exactly.
Nobody gets into the NFL by accident. Nobody that goes from college to the NFL is bad.
Yeah.
Nobody that goes from high school to college and plays at that level is bad. Nobody in that room that you're talking about was bad at this. Okay, we're all here for a reason. Let's fucking go. You know what I mean? So, that's probably when it happened.
I feel like that's what we were talking about yesterday a little bit too, was like none of these like really successful entrepreneurs or anything. It's not like that successful business just doesn't land in your lap.
Yeah.
Like it's years of hard work to get to that point.
For sure.
Question for you, Kyle. When you were in college, I mean, you went to ASU, I went to ASU too. How was like school life, football balance? Because when I went to ASU, I know there was tons of different distractions.
Yeah.
Millab.
That took me away from my academics. Nonetheless, being a football player, I couldn't even imagine what that would be like.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that get lost in the sauce, and we say it just like that, and especially here. And because, the elements, we'll call them the elements, but a lot of guys get lost in the sauce here. They go down the street. They like to go to Scottsdale. They get lost over there. But a school life balance, they kind of keep you in that. They keep you as structured as they can in that, So like study hall at 7 a.m., you got weights at 5 a.m., stuff like that. Then you got to go to school right after that. Then practices right after that. There's some guys that I don't know how they did it. They still found a way to get into a lot of shit. Once you left practice at 6 p.m., like from 6 p.m. to that 5 a.m. or 6 a.m., they found a way to get into all kinds of shit. But, for me, it wasn't as much of staying away from distractions as it was all I cared about was ball. I didn't give, I wish I could go back and change it, but at the time I didn't care about school like that. I just cared about ball. Like, I just want to play. And the only time I really kicked school into high gear was when they were like, hey, ball might be threatened by you not taking care of this. So then it's like, okay, now I got to take care of this. But it's tough because that still is a professional setting, like we were talking about. It's still a professional setting where you still you're required to be in meetings for 4 or 5 hours a day. You got to take care of your weights. You still got to, you're learning how to be a professional. So it's still a setting that you're kind of being groomed for that. So you still got to be on top of your stuff. And you got to treat it like this is your profession if you want it to be. And yeah, I mean, it's easy to just focus on the side that you care about. And that's kind of where I was. But, you know, it's tough. A lot of guys don't make it for that reason alone. They got all the talent in the world. They are the best players on the team, and then they're not playing. They're ineligible, or they got into some shit out in Old Town or whatever. It's hard. It's hard to stay focused.
How do you think nowadays, like, obviously these colleges, like, groom these athletes, like you said, provide the structure, provide the tutors, whatever it needs. Not every college athlete is going to make it to the league to be successful. And the odds of them having a normal job or having to find a career after they're done playing sports is very, very high.
100%.
How do you think the education really compares? Like, some people say, oh, you could play a sport. They, like, hold your hand through getting your degree.
For sure.
Versus, you know, just a normal student who got the degree. Like, what's the difference between
that's a big thing. That's a big thing because when you get, and we've all talked about this, like, to a man from my former college teammates, when you get out, and I went to the league, so I had a little bit longer, but then when I got out of that, I'm realizing, like, shit, I've had a schedule made for me every single day since I was 18. And before that, it was being at home with my parents. Yeah. So that schedule was made for me too, more or less. I've never done this without structure. There's no, when you get done and you don't have, you know, meetings to be at or whatever, and you don't have a traditional job and you haven't gotten that yet, there's no structure. You wake up and you're like, what the hell do I do? What do I normally do? Well, what was told to me, you know what I mean? So that's a big thing. And I think that there's a lot of people that come out that just do go to school and they have to learn that at 18 instead of learning it. Let's say you don't go to any NFL or anything you're done. You got to learn it at 22 or 23. Yeah. That's a big gap, you know, and there's a lot of time that you missed in that gap where we're having to do it. I had to do that when I was 28. I'm done with the league and I'm trying to figure out what to do with life now. And I'm like, fuck, I've been given a structure to follow, a schedule to follow since I was 18 years old. And before that, I had it all mapped out for me then. So I've never had to do this by myself. That's part of the learning curve when you're almost 30 years old for me. And
probably never really had like a serious job, right?
Never.
Because you were,
I mean,
becoming a pro athlete, that's a full-time job in itself. That's a job
in itself, exactly. And I'm glad you said that because you have to work so hard. You work tireless hours to get yourself in physical shape. Then you got to work to get yourself mentally prepared. Then you got to get lucky. And then you got to make some plays out there.
Not get injured,
too bad. Not get injured, too, on the other side of the luck, right? And then you got to succeed. And even if you do all those things right, and you do it right for a number of years, at some point that end date's going to come, and then you're going to have to figure out, the hell do I do with the rest of my life? Like you said, not all of us are Tom Brady and wife makes this much and he makes this much, and I don't have to do a thing for the rest of my life. Or it's all mapped out for him because of how well he's done things, right? Right. Most of us are not that. We get out of the league, we get out of college, and there's nothing. You got to figure it out. You got to start from scratch. And all your peers are good. They're settled in. They've been doing this for, 8 years now. And now you're like, okay, I got to get started,
Yeah, another thing to consider, too, is like when you're at that level for like 5+ years, the odds of you having more than one contract is high. And those contracts are substantial. So if you have substantial contracts in the NFL for several years, I mean, if you have proper money management and you have some sort of investment, something in your head,
you should be
like
good.
You should be good.
Should be good.
Well, in theory, but a lot of athletes, don't you see now that a lot of athletes like kind of burn through their money real quick?
Yeah, you guys ever seen the 30 for 30 broke? You ever seen that?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's crazy. That's what I was about to talk about.
That is the man, and I was just talking to somebody about this yesterday. That keeping up with the Joneses mentality in that locker room is real. It's so real, especially from the guys that are making real money. From the guys that aren't making real money, I can tell you because I was one of those guys. I'm looking and I'm seeing, and we're seeing what these other guys are doing. We're like, shit, they're burning through that stuff. But they got it.
There's a big gap between the last guy on the 53 and the top 5 guys.
5, 6 guys that make money, right? And the rest of you guys, I mean, we make money in the scheme of life. in the grand scheme of life.
Compared to the average person, it's no comparison.
Right. We make a ton of money compared to the average person, but then when you compare it to the guys next to you, he made what I'm making this year today.
Question for you. How much do you think social media has changed that? Because now everyone has an outlet these days to where almost, if you're in the NFL, you're going to have a little bit of a following, at least on social media, where then you can't get brands or opportunities outside of the NFL when you do retire or whatnot.
Even in college now.
Back in the day, you probably didn't have much social media back then.
Man, I could tell you Instagram started, I want to say, like my second year in the league.
Yeah.
I think it started then. Yeah. So, and Twitter started when I was a rookie, I want to say. So it was everything that was happening in that space. It was like the first time it was happening. So it hadn't taken off to what it is now. So it definitely changed the landscape of things for sure. People promoting themselves, people being able to get a bag off of promoting themselves.
That's way more common these days.
Yeah, the avenues have opened up. So there should be a lot more ways to make money if you are a person of status today as opposed to when I was playing. But it's still, I mean, again, you get the way it's structured with us, and going back I would change it. But again, this was, hindsight is always 20/20, but you get 17 paychecks. You get paid every single week, or every week on Wednesday, you get 17 paychecks. Those paychecks are huge because there's 17 of them, right? They're not stretched out throughout the whole year. You're not getting 52. You're not getting paid bi-weekly. You got 17, and that's it. And you have this thing in your mind where it's like, I can spend that. I'm gonna get a check for $22,000 on Wednesday. Like, who cares? Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm getting a check on Wednesday. We're good. No big deal.
How'd that feel getting your first big paycheck?
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, you got drafted.
Same way. I mean, you got.
What round you get drafted in?
6.
Okay, so you probably didn't make a huge bag at first.
I didn't, but that bag to me, man, I got my first. I think my signing bonus when it was like 90,000 or something like that.
That's
and I got
insane money.
You never made any money your whole life, probably, right?
Bro, I'm in college and I'm trying to figure out how to keep the lights on. Like my dad could have helped me. My dad's he's been very successful. He's done his thing. But there was something about both of us. I'm not asking, and he's not giving. I don't need a crutch. I need to learn what this shit is like. You know what I mean? So
what was your first big purchase when you got that first couple paychecks?
I helped my mom get a car. That was my first thing. My mom wanted them. I was like, "What do you want?" She's like, "I got a house. I'm good. I'm not leaving this house." I'm like, cool. She's like, "Well, I want a car. I want this Lexus." Shit, tell me what you need. Tell me what you need. I sent her over the down payment for it. Took care of it for a little bit.
What about for yourself?
Man,
did you make investments early on?
No, I didn't. No? See, I didn't know. That's the one thing is I wish I knew more about money then.
Yeah,
because
it's so different then
was, make sure you buy a house soon. The basic stuff, investment stuff. But I didn't. Man, I had a chance. I was in the Bay. Okay, so this is around the time Tesla was on its way up.
Yeah,
Bitcoin's on its way up. I'm getting endorsement stuff, and they're like, "We can pay you in Bitcoin," and I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, just give me some cash. Like, look back and I'm like, what the hell, bro? Like, so I didn't know, what was going on. Again, I put myself back in these shoes, and I'm like, damn, when I got drafted, that was 12 years ago. I was a baby. I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
So
that's a lot of us. If I look back on my career, I would definitely try monetizing myself more back in the day.
Sure.
But I mean, you don't know.
You're not thinking of it.
You can't think of it in the time.
And I was so
passionate about
I just want to play
scootering, and you just want to play football.
I just want to play ball, bro. I don't care. All that stuff will take care of itself.
Exactly.
I will be where I need to be. I'll have the finances I need to have if I just do this.
Exactly.
And, it would happen. But, sometimes things kind of happen different ways.
Yeah, I broke my leg. That's kind of why I quit, too.
You get it. And that's just fate, that's just what happens. You can't, it is what it is,
Exactly. And now I have more entrepreneurial mindset that I might have not had before. And I mean,
there you go.
You're doing real estate, so it seems like
it's the thing that this whole thing has given me is so much resilience, man. I've never been able to pay attention to that or focus on that. All I've ever focused on is the fact that I've been knocked down so many times.
Yeah.
Surgery, ACL surgery, next year ACL surgery again. Next year, I got an Achilles. A year after that, collarbone breaks and tear my labrum, concussions. Then it's just year after year after year.
Yeah.
And you're getting knocked down, but you're not realizing that you're getting your ass up every single time you've been knocked down.
100%.
And you only want to focus on the bad stuff, but you're getting your ass up every time.
Yeah.
So that's what, now I got it. It's innate now at this point. Like, I'm going to bounce back because of everything I've already been through.
Yeah, so we're just talking about how guys that retire out of the NFL or get cut, obviously have trouble maybe finding a job because they aren't used to that real life experience. So you obviously picked up real estate. When did you realize that's what you want to do when you got out of the NFL?
It took, so I had those couple years where I was dealing with some things. Then I got my brain turned on, so to speak, turned back on, so to speak. And I tried to get into a couple businesses, and this is how I met Justin. I was doing I was in the car business, and when you start to do business again, I'm green in the business world. You guys been in it longer. I haven't. So I've been dealing with just football, just sports, and in sports you get instant results from what you're doing. You either catch it or you drop the shit. You know what I mean? You either win or you lose. You practice, you go in, you watch the film right away. Hey, you did this right, you did this wrong. It's right now. And everyone's pulling from the same rope, trying to go in the same direction. It's the same thing, right? But then you get into business, things are dragged out a little bit. You got to wait on such and such. You got to do that. And then not everybody moves, as you know, not everybody moves with integrity. Yeah. So you're putting your name out there for this guy and this. It's so many variables that you just are not prepared for because you're a rook. You're green in this. So for me, it took kind of falling down in those businesses and not working, and not necessarily not working because of my work ethic or everybody that was involved. It might have just been one or two pieces that that were kind of moving funny. So I just got to a point where I said, you know what, I have this network already. I'm knowledgeable about this topic because of my own passion about it. I'm buying homes and trying to get rid of homes and stuff like that. I'm doing it for my dad. I'm finding finding my brothers. We're doing all that, and I'm like, I'm already doing all the legwork for this. I might as well just go ahead and add.
It's a great market. It's a great market to be in. I mean, Ricky right here, that's pretty much what he does. He buys and sells houses.
Yeah.
But I was at a real estate event last night, big wholesaling event, pretty much on the investing side, and I spoke for 5 minutes. I was one of the speakers.
Nice.
And my main message was, how badly do you want it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no secrets to the game, but you're going to fail a lot. You're going to deal with a ton of rejection. And the biggest thing I see people that succeed in real estate or business in general is, like, who has the most failures almost. But then who keeps going, who keeps learning from their mistakes. But we were talking about this yesterday, the difference, I think, like I'm big into fitness too. And what I love about fitness is you show up every day. If you put in the work, you see the results.
You'll get results.
There's no hiding from the truth.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
In business, there's a delayed gratification sometimes.
Bingo.
And some people can't stomach that, or what I see a lot of people, they don't last long enough.
To
get to that, finally something hits.
That was me. It was me. I literally was at a crossroads recently where I'm like, man, there's so many variables that are affecting my business that is not involved with me. My client, I go hard for my clients. I got one client that we've been trying to find him a spot, and the market has just dictated what we're going to do here.
A brutal market last few months.
Yeah, and this is what I came into. It was my first year in it, right? And he's like, bro, you're killing. You have the experience. Like, you're way better than my previous realtor. You're killing this, but we just can't do it based on what the market is imposing on us right now. It's either we're going to pay, a few months ago, it was we're going to pay way too much for something that's not worth that. And now it's like, damn, they just hit us with the rate, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you got high rates and the prices are still high.
So you're at the mercy of so many other things, right? And I got to a point where I'm like, man, I really miss that instant result, of, hey, you're good at this, do this, and this is what it is. And I interviewed with the Cardinals recently for a scouting position, spoke with the Bears a little bit. That's my passion, so I still am always going to be gravitated to it. But I keep listening to people that have been in it like yourself for a while that are telling me, hey, that first year is a beast. Just stay in it. Just
100%.
And I got to remind myself of one thing that I've been trying to do that's not always the easiest thing to do is to translate what I've learned in the football setting and now just bring it into real life, right? And that resilience I talk about. It's like, okay, get your ass back up. Get back up. I'm trying to translate that into the real estate world too because this is difficult. It's difficult. You're at the mercy of so many other things. You cannot look at it and say, it's not happening quick enough. You got to stick it out. You got to keep getting up.
Yeah, and the people that stay in it long enough, they're going to see the success on the other end.
Yeah.
So if you have that long-term mindset and don't get so stuck in, but it's tough. Our team's doing, like, I've grown my team in the last few months. We have better systems, processes. We're doing way more these past few months. We're doing way less deals than we were 6 months ago or a year ago. So it is sometimes you're doing everything better than you ever have.
Yeah.
And the results are way worse because you're at mercy of a lot of other variables.
A lot of other variables, man. But I think it's you control what you can control, right? And that's a kind of an adage for life. You can just do what you can, control what you can control. There's always going to be that. The outside variables coming in, and you just got to kind of weather the storm, duck and dodge when you can, and keep it moving.
Yeah.
100%. One thing you talked about briefly is your brother and your pops, obviously. Yeah. They're doing their own thing. Not too many people know the background around that. So you want to give some insight on that? Because it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's been a privilege for my entire life, really. So I grew up with my dad being in the baseball world pretty heavily. And it got to, he's been very, very successful in this field. When we were, I think it was 2001, he was named the GM of the White Sox. And won a title there, and bro, just being around that every single day.
It's probably pretty cool.
I'm growing up in that, right? Like I'm going to spring training and I'm taking cuts with these guys. I'm getting in the cage with them, and I do it like this. But more so than anything, I'm around professionals. We're talking about professionals.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Do you know Paul Knerkel?
Yeah.
That's like my distant uncle.
Is it really?
Yeah, I've gone to a bunch of his Christmas parties and stuff back in the day.
I came to Arizona in my junior year in high school, and I went to Chaparral literally because of Paulie telling my dad he needs to go there. Yeah. If he's a baseball guy, he's got to go there.
Exactly. My dad went to Chaparral.
Really?
And that's how he met.
There we go.
And they're basically super close.
Small
family,
world.
Friends, and everything else.
It's crazy how small this world
is. Crazy. Yeah.
But yeah, it's I'm growing up and I'm seeing professionals every single day. I'm seeing professionals that go about it the right way, like Paulie. I'm seeing a lot of guys that do it the wrong way, and then I'm having conversations for all intents with the GM. I'm talking to him about all this stuff. It's my dad
at home.
We're in the car, and I'm just, hey man, what about this? This and that. So I'm literally being groomed without knowing it, or not without him trying to. But we're just having passive conversations, and I'm being groomed to be a professional athlete. Me, my brothers, this is how we came up. So my brother is a scout for the White Sox. Or was a scout. Now he's a vice president of player development for the minor leagues in the White Sox, which is, for all intents and purposes, like the assistant minor league GM of the entire organization. So he's killing too. But it's just it's a different vantage point that you get, and I got that since I was this big. So I'm just growing up in that world, and I'm seeing kind of how it works and how it operates, and the things you're supposed to do and not do as a kid. And then the other side of that is, my dad is going, I'm going to all these games with him, and we're getting in the car and we're driving out of there and leaving. And I swear, it was only on games we would lose. He's turning on talk radio every single time. And they're calling in, that Kenny Williams, he's this, he's that, he's this. And he's just listening to it. Completely unbothered. Like completely laughing at some of it, stoic on all the other parts, just like, these guys are, who is this guy? This guy's calling me from his mom's basement or something. And he's just giving me that perspective of just like, when everything is great, they're all over you. When it's bad, they'll switch on you like that. And they will come for you quickly. So when that stuff started to happen to me in my career, it was like, shit, I've been here.
That happened to you, right? When you were with the 49ers, right?
Yeah, that was a big deal. And that's kind of what I was alluding to earlier, from coming back from a concussion a little early. Yeah. And I didn't know until and this is the first time I really even said this publicly, I didn't know until I was doing my disability hearing stuff that I never was cleared to go back and play after I sustained a concussion against Seattle, which I lost consciousness for, I think it was anywhere from like 7 to 10 minutes. I was on the field, they went to the commercial, they came back to the commercial, and I'm still down on the field. A lot like we all saw last night with Tua.
Not good.
Yeah.
Literally. So imagine your mother seeing that. Because my brother was with my mom that day.
Yeah.
And she's hysterical for 10 minutes watching her son on the ground, just non-responsive, right? I hop up, and I end up playing a couple weeks later against the Saints in the playoffs, and then the next game after that was the Giants game. And that week before, man, I was so jacked up. I'm throwing up, and I'm waking up. I can't sleep. I'm throwing up all week, but I'm going to play. Like I said earlier, we will play. If you give us this much window to play, we're fucking playing.
Yeah,
like that's
also
how we're wired.
Like a while ago too,
wired, bro. Yeah,
the rules were different. The
medical.
medical
Before any of that medical tent. There's no blue tent. There's no concussion committee, third party, none of that. It is
if
just,
you're good, you're good.
Hey man, you're good. Yeah. We got the impact test, and I mean, any NFL player to a man will tell you that impact test probably the same thing that Tua passed if he did take it. Once you do it a couple times, it's the easiest shit ever. We all play video games. We all grew up playing video games. All right, like little memory test I've done 1,000,000 times. It's the same words as the last one. Like, okay, like not a big deal. So
yeah, I think in 2022 that you wouldn't have been able to play that game.
Well, I mean, I've countless neurologists since then. I've had countless problems since then. So I've talked to a lot of these guys, and they, to a man, have been like, I don't know why the hell you were playing that game.
Right.
Based on the injury you sustained just a couple weeks prior to that. But I get in, I play, and I mean, it's crazy because I don't remember any of that game. I have some plays that are incredible, great plays, like 50-yard return. Another one's like 40-yard return. I've watched it on TV. I don't remember it here, but I watched it. I'm like, damn, I was playing well, but then I was playing horrible at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm out there with no sense of what the hell, you know what I mean? I'm not there. So it cost my team the game, bro, and it costed me that costed me a lot emotionally. That costed me a lot with how my life was to play out for the next till now, bro. I was waking up every single day, waking up to and going to bed to hundreds, if not thousands, of death threats daily. My mom getting death threats. You know what I mean? Like shit being put at my house in the Bay, tires getting slashed. Like I had a bunch of crazy shit happening to where it was like the Niners guy was like, hey, the security guy, you want us to put a cop car in front of your home? I'm like, I'll just go to Arizona. Like this is too crucial. But it was bad.
Not too many people know exactly what happened, but just give a brief like.
So more or less, I go in, we play. We're in the NFC Championship, and tight game. I had one.
What year was this?
This is 2012. 2011 season, but 2012 playoffs. And I fumbled twice. One of which was in the overtime. They get it, they kick it, and they win. And, you know, for all intents and purposes, I've told my teammates, they've all told me, no, I wasn't on you. That was on me. You know, like, but again, in that situation, you have to protect your players from themselves. I would have played no matter what. Yep. They're telling me I'm good, I'm playing no matter what. But, you know, you put yourself out there, and in you know, hindsight, the one thing that jacks me up about it is my teammates. You know, those are my guys. They worked their ass off for that opportunity. And we lost because it was on me, but, you know, you're supposed to let me know what's going on with my brain.
Yeah.
In that setting.
Obviously, you're not the type of dude who's going to just make an excuse.
I didn't know for years.
But you gotta protect your own guys.
Yeah. I went in after the fact. Obviously the media swarming and all that. I took it on the chin. Hey, it's on me. Whatever. I didn't find out until years later, bro. Probably till 2017, 2018, that I never passed that concussion test, or there's no record of it. So, looking back now, I'm like, well, fuck. I ate this already, so it is what it is. But damn, how much different could this have been had they done the right thing?
And I know you said you learned from your dad about how he would be kind of stoic, tune out noise. During your playing career, during the highs and lows, were you on social media? Were you reading the good and bad about you?
Everything.
You read everything?
I saw, and to be honest, I'll give myself a lot of credit back then because I would answer. People would talk shit on there, and I'd answer. And then right after I'd answer, they'd be like, "Holy shit, he answered, bro! I'm actually a fan. I'm just saying, I was just talking shit. I'm just playing." Do
you think
it honestly took a lot of air out of it for me because I'm like, man, most of these are kids, man. But I get a lot of embarrassing grown ass men that were coming at me in my comments about a football game, and I'm like, bro, you got kids. This is the message you're giving to your kids. Yeah. I'm the guy that gets on Twitter and talks shit to the guy who's doing something with his life.
Yeah, I just feel
and those guys are just the guys sitting out on their couch.
That part of it bothered me more than anything else. But when it was kids, I'd laugh. I'd joke with them. I'd be like, man, get on the Madden. Let's play Madden or whatever. We get on a video game, and I'm friends with some of them guys now, where it's like, it's not a big deal. But.
Yeah.
I see the same shit. Just I have a real estate page on TikTok, and I have 100,000 followers. Not that big or anything, but
I like
the amount of people that I'm posting valuable shit, how I changed my life, how to invest in real estate, and the amount of people are like, fucking fraud, you suck, scam. Mm-hmm. Don't you guys
just to get the reaction.
don't you have something better?
Yeah, just to get the reaction.
But I guess they don't.
That's literally what it is, and it took me that to be like, bro, they really don't have anything better to do. So I'm gonna treat it like that because to this day, and nobody came and said something to my face, not once,
right?
Not once. say not once. You're hiding behind. You're either in the stands. You're hiding behind that gate that we can't go by, or you're hiding behind your phone.
Yeah.
So again, it took so much air out of that for me. But going through it, I'm not gonna lie. You don't realize how negative that is for your mindset to literally go to sleep to fuck you, and then wake up to the same shit every single day. I used it at that time. I was a kid, so I'm using it like, fuck it, I'm gonna go grind. And I turned it into that. But I don't think I actually addressed a lot of that stuff until I was an older person where I'm like, damn, I was actually struggling then. Like that, I was turning it all into fun or whatever because I had to. That was my coping mechanism. But as an adult now, I'm looking back like, damn, that's some real shit.
I heard Joe Burrow after like the 0-2 start. He said he like got off Instagram.
Yes.
So I'm wondering what's the best way to. I'm wondering if that's a better approach.
I felt like, and not that I feel like this is his approach or his mindset on it, but I felt like for me when I was in that setting, if I would have done it with the type of fans we got. So they probably celebrated that for Joe because he's had so much success. They were on me, bro. So if I would have done it, they'd have been like, he's fucking running. He's scared.
Yeah.
And that might have changed their perspective. Who knows whose perspective that changes? They might see that in the front office and be like, oh, he's fucked up over this. Because what they saw was, oh, that motherfucker is working. He's cool. Like, he should be cool. Like, I think Jim Harbaugh, he brought me aside during the next training camp one time. And he's like, hey, man, are you like, worried about your job? I'm like, we're all fucking worried about our job. This is the NFL. He's like, no, but are you worried about your job because of last year? And I was like, well, yeah. And he was like, fucking stop. You're here, bro. You're not going anywhere. Just like I'm on the table for you, bro, because I see how you've been working and how you responded. You're good. Just work. I'm like, man, if he's cool and I was already kind of wearing this, I'm good, bro. And my teammates are cool, I'm fucking good. Yeah. But it makes it easier when you go. But that was a tough time, bro. I'm going that next season. I'm going into our home stadium, and I'm getting booed at home. When I go back for the punt, I'm still starting. I'm still playing. So it's not like you guys' perception of who I am is going to change the coaches or the front office because I can still get down, right? It's just a matter of like, damn, that's a weird feeling, bro.
Did your confidence take a little hit?
I think, man, that's a good question. I don't think so because at the time I was so like kind of hell bent on the
almost like proving them wrong.
Yeah, that didn't even creep into my mind. If it does creep into your mind as that guy back there as a punt returner, you are fucked.
I mean, you see with especially with like kickers or I'm a big golfer. Like sometimes one bad shot,
one bad shot could you shank one that way one time.
Jordan Spieth, he hit one on at the Masters.
I remember.
Right, he hit it right into the water on 13.
I want to say that was
12.
the same year of my situation, and I was like,
he was never the same after that. Now he's bouncing back, but
it took a long time.
Took him
bro.
Years.
And that confidence, if that creep, that's what I mean. If you start to doubt you, just fucking, especially in our game, if you doubt yourself or you're timid in the NFL. Fucking take your cleats off and hang the pads up like now before you're gonna get fucked up out there. Mm-hmm. Like that's not the game that you can do that. That's not the game where you can half step or tiptoe into. Like hell no, you better just stop.
I'm a big Cowboys fan, so last week,
sorry, bro.
I know, right? But CeeDee Lamb, it was a great example. He drops that wide open pass, and on Twitter, everyone's cut him, take that 88 off his jersey, and then a quarter later. Snags a one-hander, and then everything. But
he's the greatest. I'm like, that is...
Those moments, it is, right? That's crazy.
That's the illustration of how fans are. And we're all fans. We're like that, too. Like, I could not get mad at the fans for jumping on me at that time because I literally was a fan my entire life. I put myself in your shoes as much as I can. So I'm like, fuck, would I have been mad in that situation? I'd have been fucking pissed because I'm passionate about this team.
Yeah.
And we thrived off that passion, especially that year more than any other year. We literally we would embody our city, our fan base. So like when that was happening, I mean, I'm like, damn, I get it. Like,
so did this incident happen? Because I don't know if we've got over this subject yet, but you won a Super Bowl.
I did.
Correct?
I did. Yeah.
Did this incident happen before?
That was before.
So then was it a little bounce back?
it would have felt way better if I was healthy.
Yeah, okay.
Because once I did get the ring, a lot of the Niner fans are like, "You just got that shit because," and I was like, "I don't give a fuck. I got it, shit.
Yeah.
Come take it from me."
Cowboys fans were saying that about DeMarcus Ware, and he was rushing off the edge. So
there's always a guy.
Kevin Durant, they still say that about.
A guy 100%. That they're gonna say, "You didn't deserve it. You were just on the bench." So I'm in the league.
Yeah, you put in the hard work and time.
Got here for a reason. They don't just give this shit out.
So like, how'd that feel getting that ring then? After all those years,
how ironic it was too is we won it in. So we were building the whole time I played in San Francisco. We were building the new stadium in Santa Clara at our practice facility, and I was gone from the team. I was with the Chiefs when it got finished.
Yeah.
So I had never played in it. I had never been in it. The first day that I was in it was Super Bowl 50. So I won it there, and then I'm walking through, like where my old parking lot was, and I'm like, damn, I got fired right here a couple of years ago, and now I'm right here in this same parking lot where I used to park. I parked right there, and I'm on the bus. I'm like, yo, y'all, I used to park right fucking there, and now look where we're at. And they're like, see, and now you got a ring right here after they let you go. So it's like
everything works out for a reason.
Full circle, and it's like, no, it didn't happen the way I wanted it to. Like, of course not, because I was injured, but like, shit had happened. Nobody can take that from me.
With the Chicago Bears?
No, that was the Broncos.
Oh, Broncos. Okay.
Yeah.
So it happened,
you can't deny it. It happened.
I've seen the ring. I've tried your ring on.
I look at that ring every single morning, and I'm like, this is us. Ain't nobody taking it. So, you know, it is what it is, man. Of course, we look at life. We would all change some things, bro. Everybody. If somebody's saying they wouldn't, they're lying to you. We would all change. We could have more money or have this, have that, whatever. I'm not changing that part because at the end of the day, it got me to my goal. My goal when I started this thing, when I was this big, is I want to play in the NFL. I want to be good enough to do that. I want to win a Super Bowl. I want that. I don't know, maybe it was because I did grow up with my dad being successful, so we didn't, you know, like my mom, we were in different certain situations where she was, you know, not exactly as wealthy as my dad was, right? So I saw it from that vantage point, but when I was with my dad, I saw success. I saw wealth, all that. That wasn't my main goal. I wasn't in this to make a ton of money. Obviously, I would have loved to, right? But like, my goal as a child was to win a Super Bowl, bro. And that happened. So like, I can't with my right mind say that things went wrong. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even with all the shit I've been through. Whatever, man. Like, I'm 34. Like, I'm in good health now. You know, I've seen the bottom of that where I didn't think I would even make it. And every day I wake up now, I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful to even be here because I wouldn't have been.
You keep that thing nice and sparkly?
Oh, man. That shit's blinging. Every single day right in front of my computer, right at my desk. I see it every day, bro.
How many World Series does your dad have? One World Series?
Yeah.
And your brother Kenny, he's got more.
Have one yet,
Kenny's going to watch this and be like, my boy Justin.
He's got
a lot on the way.
Kenny's got a lot is on his way, bro. Like, he's been doing the scouting thing since he was 26. And now he's 27, and now he's about 36, and we'll hear his name as a GM pretty soon.
Yeah, I can tell you. I thought,
do they win rings as well?
World Series will get big.
100%.
So your dad has one.
Yeah, me and Pops got a picture of us both just with the ring on, and we're about to get Kenny in there too pretty soon.
Kenny's
like,
gonna get one.
Badass picture.
You know what I mean? Just cool, man. Just like, man, when you set out to do something and it happens, like, man, the sense of accomplishment.
I've always been curious you see sports families sometimes, like dad was a pro athlete and then the son. I've always wondered, obviously, a little genetics, gifted. You got to be, you know, I look at your calves, I'm like.
I got lucky with that. My pops is Chuck too. My
right.
grandfather
obviously
like
that,
too.
right.
I'm almost there.
I'm
catching on.
I said scooter, bro.
I hit calves every day, brother. I don't know. But obviously that plays a certain part. But do you think just growing up almost this is normal life, seeing dad and that expectation of almost, I could go play pro ball.
It was everything. Yeah. It was literally, you said it right. It was an expectation. I did not I say it was a dream, right? It was something I wanted to do, but I fully expected to do it when I was a young kid. You know, I remember my dad asking us at the dinner table, what do you guys want to be? What do you want to be? And I remember me and Kenny, I'm going to be in the major leagues, and I'm going to be in the NFL. And he's like, yeah, well, you know, not everybody makes it, and you know the percentages. And I was like, I don't care about that. I'm going to make it. So it's a mindset at a young age where I was decided on that. Like that was gonna happen. So if it didn't, shit, who knows where I would have been? But
probably being around it helped though, right?
100%. That's one of the biggest privileges I've ever been given in my life was just being able to be around pro athletes like Frank Thomas. I would just go talk to him in the dugout. Like Paul can like. These are superstars, bro. And I'm just like shooting the shit with them.
They're superstars. They're also dudes, though. They're people.
They're just dudes. And some of those guys, like honestly, I've met some of my idols and just realized that they were just dudes. And then I also met some of my idols and realized like this guy's a dick. Like straight up, this guy's mean. I don't want to be that. I want to be that. And I'm going to be everything I can to be that guy who's humble, who works hard, and who gets it done, and not that guy who shits on people. Like it's little things you learn like that growing up. It's like that's just now innate part of my personality. It's not something I'm trying to do. Like you know what I mean? It's just what I was raised like.
It's helped me in real estate too, and I would encourage you to take that same mindset of getting around the most successful guys and talk to them. And some people you talk to and you're like, damn, that dude's super smart and knows all this stuff. But other people are extremely successful. You're like, damn, like, I know more. Really? I know more about this. Or if he's doing it, I could definitely do it.
A bit of all that. And one thing, again, I am no expert in the real estate world. I'm green in this. I'm a rook, but I'm learning and I'm learning fast. And the one thing, I'm not an expert, but the expert thing I've done is try to surround myself, like you said, with people that know what the hell they're doing, with people that really have done it, with people with real life experience. That's kind of why I got on with Silverleaf Realty. And my old realtor, her name's Jen Patterson. Her husband was a hockey player in the NHL, so she's helped my dad, and her clientele list is crazy. And she's kind of helped usher me along and bring me in, and this is how you do it right. Because I don't know how to do it like a 20-year vet at all. I've been doing this for a few months, really. So I want to know how to do it like the experts. I'm going to sit here and sponge it up from you, and I'll learn from you because you know how to do it. You know better than I, so I'm going to learn from you. And I think that's the biggest thing is, which people have gotten better about, but back in my generation, more than in yours too, we didn't ask a lot of questions.
No.
These guys, they are firing off questions and getting information and getting educated, and they have no problem doing so.
We were talking yesterday on just social media now and scrolling through TikTok. Like, I went to college because I thought that was the only option growing up. But now you could be 12 years old, just randomly find something on TikTok and someone's like, don't do this, do this. I'm 17, I'm making $1 million. That crazy, stuff was so foreign when I was growing up, and I'm sure it's even crazier with you.
Yeah, it didn't exist. There was no platform like that. So like now that we see it, the first stage for our generation is you're skeptical. You're like, nah, what the fuck? And then you see it really happening. They're getting the information though. They're asking people. They're sponging it up from people, and they're taking action on it. So our generation can learn something from theirs in the sense of ask all the questions, just soak up all the knowledge you can, and then make it happen after that. So that's kind of where I've taken this real estate thing is I'm still in my rookie year in the league, right? My rookie year in the league, I was attached to Ted Ginn and Michael Crabtree's hip. How do I do this? I don't know how to do this. Like, teach me. And I'm observing everything they're doing, and I'm still doing that in my fourth year in the league. And to the guy that you came in earlier, he said, hey, I'm in my second, third year, I'm still learning this stuff. Yeah. And as long as you've been in it, you're learning this stuff. And
every day.
This is a constant thing where you just got to keep on going on this stuff.
Are you focused on luxury real estate? I hear it's Silverleaf. I know that's...
Yeah, I want to do the luxury. And I do want to be able to cater to guys that were in my position. The guys that were playing in the NFL, guys that were, they're coming into these big bags early, and maybe they don't know how to spend it. Maybe they're doing this already, but I can just help you do it in a better way. Or maybe it's just because we have this NFL fraternity that we need to work together, and I could take care of you better than somebody else.
I like that.
I think that's huge too. And a lot of people don't know, like the house that you recently bought, you bought, it was a good ass deal. You remodeled it. Yeah. It's beautiful. It came out amazing.
Appreciate that.
And it's like, dude, like he did a fix and flip in his own house. Obviously, it's a really beautiful house. But there's so many people that don't even see that mindset. Like you forced equity into that house.
Yeah, man. And honestly, I had the information. I was just talking to a lot of people at the time of what they were doing and how to do stuff. So I asked a lot of questions. I had the info, and hey, let's put this into action. We got all the pieces. Let's just do it.
Obviously, you had your professional NFL career, you've done all that stuff, and now you're transitioning to more getting your other bag in your different direction, stuff like that. How has that affected like your personal life with your friends or like with girls, or how does that work like around town? Like, you know what I mean?
Man, it's around town. It's just cool because I've been here for so long. I went to ASU and then before that high school. So around town, it's cool to me now. For a long time, it was weird because everybody had seen me playing for so long, and it's that question that loomed every time I spoke to somebody. What are you doing now? And I had no answer.
Right.
That used to mess with me a little bit. Like, what's going on now? And I'm like, just hanging out.
I feel like you're pretty recognizable. We've been at the bar having drinks.
Do you get recognized a lot?
Yeah, here a ton, in California a lot.
I'm sure with football because a lot of times, helping Tehran and stuff like that. Before social media was huge.
Honestly, that whole shit with the championship game kind of.
You're a household name for 24 hours.
They put my face out there.
Yeah,
so
any publicity is good publicity.
I remember watching that.
One way or the next, you recognize me, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. But I'm like, at this point, shit, that was 10, 12 years ago.
Let me sell you a house.
Yeah, let's get this real estate shit going.
Yeah.
So, but it's just like, my thing is, again, around town, it's always positive because of how I've always treated people. That's a big thing for me. Like, you will get out what you put in. I pour into people because I like people. People are cool as shit, unless you do something to make yourself not. So if you are somebody that, again, you might not bring nothing to the table, but if you just bring good energy, I'm with that. I'm bringing all that back. So that's why around town, when we've been together, people do recognize it's always love because of how I've treated other people. There's been situations, but like I said, never anything like critical like that.
Right,
somebody's coming up.
No one's ever like, that fumble.
That fumble. No.
Yeah.
It's a lot of,
people love talking on the internet. But
single girl?
No, I got a girl. She's awesome. Got a little dog. He's awesome. Nice. Again, the dynamic, going back to your question, the dynamic of kind of settling in and kind of getting the career thing figured out, getting the home thing figured out. Honestly, I was going to sell the home. It was a fix and flip in my mind until she came about, the dog came about. Then it's like, okay, now my mindset is a little shifted now. Now I'm thinking more towards the family stuff and kind of go in that direction. Life is ever evolving, bro. I was thinking of a whole different mindset when I bought the house, and now it's a whole different play. And now I'm in real estate. At the time, I wasn't. At the time, I was just doing that to do it. I remember it was an investment that I was doing for myself. Like, I'm just gonna do this and make this happen. And since that the wheels started turning there, I'm like, damn, I should just go ahead and get my license and get this thing rolling.
I remember when you bought the house, I was doing a bunch of fix and flips at the time. I think I had like 4 going, and we were talking about that. And my fiance Courtney, we had her birthday party at his house, and he was generous enough to give us the house for the day. And it was a lot of fun, and it was good times. But it was like I could just already see that with Kyle specifically. Like, he already had that gear like going.
I'm just trying, man. I'm just trying, bro. There's been days where like I said, where I couldn't remember anything. I was passing out, and I thought my life was on its way to be over. That brings about a different level of depression,
100%,
a different level of anxiety, the suicide. Like, all of these things have been very prevalent in my journey, and it's sad looking back. But it's so happy looking back and now seeing where I am now that I'm able to have conversations with you guys like this. There's no way we would have ever met if I did not get that help that I got. My social anxiety was so crazy. I did not leave the house at all. It was a trip for a few years because I'm thinking I'm going to pass out and I die on the way. Yeah. That's a terrible way to live, So now being on the other side of it, bro, I'm just grateful and I'm just trying, bro. I just want to keep trying to.
You're gonna kill it, dude. You got the personal brand. You have a great attitude, personality.
Trying, bro.
We'll help you on the way too.
Yeah.
We'll get you the connect.
We got
we got you.
We got the connect.
About that right there, and I'm learning like the power of the network. Like, I have it there, but again, I was in the dark for so long that I did not realize.
Or how do you utilize it? You have to kind of understand. Okay, I have these people. I know these people. How do I connect the dots? And that's where the money's made a lot in real estate. You'll learn. It's literally a lot of the times just being a people connector.
Yeah.
We might have a deal. You might have a client. Boom.
And it's
make money.
It's done. Yeah.
Everyone's happy. Everyone wins.
That's been the challenge for me is, again, I've never had to. I played in the NFL, right? I played college ball. All that stuff's on TV. It's already there. I've never had to market myself.
Right.
I've never had to put myself out there further than an Instagram post. I don't know how to do that, right? And I don't know how to do that and market without it's feeling, because I'm a humble person. It's feeling like I can do this, I can do that. That feels arrogant to me. I'm uncomfortable with that. So it's just weird because I've never done it. So the best thing about me getting with Silverleaf recently is they're like, yo, we do that. We'll take care of all that for you. You just be you and go sell. That I can do. I can do that. I can be with people. I can talk to people. I can do all that. The stuff that I do not do well, let the experts do their expert thing on it.
Of course.
And I've turned it over, and hey, there's no ego involved here. Knock it out. Let's get it.
100%. I feel like the ego thing with a lot of these, not just agents, but people in real estate in general, like these next couple of years are gonna humble a lot of people.
I think in a lot of ways. I think it just not even just real estate people, just in everybody. General. Yeah, it's unfortunately we all kind of see what's coming here and what's going on, and it's tough out there right now. So I think a lot of people will get humbled, but it's about getting your ass back up. It's about that resilience.
Yeah, and a lot of agents won't. You've never seen so many people become new agents over the last couple of years, but I guarantee you this next year there's going to be a bunch of people exiting the space too who were just chasing the easy money grab.
Or maybe one deal, right?
It fell into their lap. All they had to do was just take listing photos, put on the MLS, first day, 50 offers.
This was so
50K
easy.
over ask.
Yeah, they're
like, this is the easiest.
Right,
but
those people are going to exit, and then that's going to, the people that are willing to grind through it, there's going to be new and greater opportunities for sure.
There's nothing that is worth anything there's not a grind that's attached to it. Like, you got to work for everything in this world. If it's given to you, chances are, you won't respect all the work that has gone into that, and you'll trick it off, which is what a lot of guys do with their first bag. I know we've all made some money in here, and I know I did when I was young. I got my first bag when I was, 22, and I spent that quick,
Right, it goes fast.
Quicker than you think. I'm like, damn, I got like $45,000, $50,000. This will last me forever. And you realize, like, oh, this ain't nothing.
Ain't shit.
this is a few dollars, bro. Like, so everything's a learning curve, man. Everything.
Do you ever feel like sometimes like that, almost not keeping up with the Joneses? Like you said, I'm sure in the locker room with the players, like all the cars and shit like that, like there's always like keeping up with the Joneses. But like there's low key that like out in the world in general.
I think it's more out there. I just didn't notice it before because I was only just like looking at my own environment. But that's real, man. That stunt mentality where everybody wants to show off what they got and flex on everybody else. That's
what I've seen
real.
Too in like the luxury real estate world. Obviously, is like if you are not that like luxury agent that drives around that nice car, like it's just an automatic like, wait a second. If this guy is driving around a nice car, if he's driving a Porsche to a listing, he knows what he's doing. Yeah. He's getting deals done. I want to work with that guy.
That's the perception.
It is the truth. Like my fiance being an agent, she rolls up in her Kia Optima. Everyone's like, how many deals has she done? Am I confident in her?
Judge, right?
You know what I mean? But I feel like you're in a great spot. With what you do.
The Mercedes outside. Rolling up.
Dude,
you already got that part.
That's
how you guys met.
You can tell
that's how we met. I bought an S-Class that was super dope on 22s, loaded, wrapped, beautiful car. You did a great job building it. Thanks for that. And I bought that car, and it was your car, and that's how we kind of like linked together.
And the crazy thing is, right after he had bought it, I'm sick to my stomach about selling it. I didn't want to get rid of it. Right, it's like one of those. As soon as you get rid of it,
you probably bought a good deal.
What am I doing, bro? Like, what am I doing? And I see this guy driving right next to me, and I call my guy that I had sold it to, and I'm like, "Hey, you sold it to somebody already?" He's like, "Yeah, my boy Justin." I'm like, "I'm behind him right now. Like, I can see him right now." He's like, "Oh yeah, I'll have him come up." You had gotten rid of it by the time we actually linked up, but the perception thing. I mean, isn't that's what social media gave us, right? Like the whole picture has to look exactly the way you want it to, or
My suggestion though, don't play that corny like every realtor doing the same thing. Like you have a very unique story, and
I would take that.
Be vulnerable, take it, run with it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do what they can. They use what they got. You know what I mean? And I think the good thing about what I have in this situation is it's passive. It's who I am. I'm going to be this regardless if you do a deal with me or not. I take the mindset of like I want you as a client forever. I don't want this one deal. I want the whole thing. And I could have gotten a lot of deals done during that time where everything was overinflated, but I'm honest with my clients. I'm honest. A lot of them are my friends.
Yeah.
And a lot of them I want to be my friends. If they're just a client, I want you to stick around.
Yeah.
I'm not going to just tell you need to do this because it makes me some money. I want you to be around forever.
Yeah, you can't tell your bro like, yo, we're gonna go $500K over asking price on this $7 million house.
Hey, we're just gonna put in the offer regardless. You might have to come out of a pocket another $100K if it doesn't appraise, but let's just go ahead and do it.
Or even like we'll do deals,
do that.
and we're not trying to, just maximize every last dollar. It's like we're in this for the long run,
the long haul.
100%.
I want you to use me every single time you think about anything home related. So I might take less on my percentage on my commission because I don't care about this deal. I really don't. I just want you to see that I'm competent and I'm going to go hard for you. That's all I care about. I don't care about what money is attached to this deal. I want you to be here for as long as you're buying and selling homes, period.
Yeah, especially with the clientele. You have that one ex-MLB, NFL, NHL player, and then that guy goes, oh, yeah, my boy Kyle.
Who'd you buy your house from?
I got
Kyle got me hooked up.
I know him. Yeah,
I remember Kyle.
I know him.
Dude,
I know his dad.
Yeah, I think you're in a great situation
where you have to, you got to move with integrity, and that's my only thing. Is like, look, I'm just going to do this right. If I do it right, all that stuff will happen. I'm just going to do it right.
100%. And I can say, firsthand experience, hanging out with you a whole bunch, hanging out with your brother, talking to your brother. You guys are on the damn wavelength. Like, you guys know what's going on. You guys have the head on your shoulders. And I've never met your pops in person, but I can already tell, like, he's instilled that into you.
Awesome dude.
And I think it's really rare to see nowadays, especially ex-athletes or people who've had any form of success. Like, they almost get that, like, inflated head. Yeah. Where you guys are very, very humble. And I think that's a testament to your mindset.
It would have never been allowed, growing up in that house with my dad being who he was and my grandfather being who he was, and that is the OG of all OGs right there. We're not doing that cocky stuff, the arrogant stuff. Like, we're humble, we're respectful, and we're better. So we'll just be that. Like, that'll talk. Your stuff on the field, just the way you treat people, that'll talk. You don't need to be the guy who talks about it himself. Just who you are, and like, people will feel that. You know what I mean?
I agree.
100%. Yeah. Any other questions for Kyle while he's here?
Oh man,
we're gonna get a golf round in.
Let's play some golf and talk some real estate.
Yeah, I'm down whenever. You guys are gonna lose, but what's your handicap? Let's talk about this.
2.
You're better than me.
No, he's good. He's good.
Oh, he's nice.
He'll smoke me.
Okay, we'll have some good matches.
That's as high as I've gotten is like 6.8 or something.
All right, I'll take this guy. I'll take Jake.
I'm playing.
Yeah, and we'll get a little match going.
You guys let me know when and where, and I'm in.
And
that's my.
We'll play Biltmore.
We can play where I could play Biltmore. I got the plug over there, but hey, we got.
I'm pretty well connected in the investment side of things too, so I'd love to. I'll have some
on whatever. Again, I'm sponging up right now, so you guys have been in this space much longer than I have, man. You got football questions, I got you, but this right here, I'm coming to you guys.
Cowboys win the Super Bowl?
No.
Yeah, that was the last two questions, quick and easy. Mm-hmm. First one is who is winning this year?
Who's winning the Super Bowl this year? Damn, that's
not Dolphins, but the situation last.
I like where they're going, but I think that it's really hard to win in your first year of having new success. Yep. It's very tough.
Okay.
I want to. No, I'm not going to do that. I thought about that. Dang, this is tough. Go second question first, and I'll have the answer.
All right, second question: what team would you want to play for?
Today.
22 season.
Today? Oh, I would want to play for probably with one of these.
With the teams that are built right now and everything.
Yeah, I'd probably want to play with one of these guys. Bro, playing with Mahomes would be crazy.
That's what I was thinking.
I was thinking the same thing.
Playing with Mahomes would be crazy. And Andy, I played with Andy for a year and a half in Kansas City. Yeah. The way he puts plays together is
about Tom Brady.
Insane.
Tom Brady
I would love to play with Tom.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that's definitely in there. I don't know if I'm going to pick them to win.
Yeah.
Actually, I might pick them to win.
This year?
It's going to be either. You know what? I like a Super Bowl rematch, actually. Chiefs and Buccaneers. That's what I like.
Chiefs and Bucks.
I like that.
Because Bucks get it? I like that.
Yeah, Bucks.
Brady walks off.
I like the Chiefs. I'm going to go with Mahomes.
Write that down.
I'm going to go with Mahomes on winning it.
So they win it this
I would
year.
love to beat, man, those offenses just, guys just getting the ball out quick. I was a slot receiver, so A lot of catches, a lot of
I
yards.
love watching Mahomes play. He's just so quick with it.
And he so many different arm angles, so the creativity he plays with. And he's still, I mean, he's learned it and he's got it now, but he's still in his developmental stages. He's only in his 5th year. I mean, like, what is he going to look like at year 10? It's gonna be insane.
100%. We're gonna have to go to his crib and watch the games. He's got a pretty good setup over there.
Oh yeah, pull up. I don't miss, like I said, I don't miss a play, bro. Like I got the 8-game mix on the 2 TVs and the red zone on the big TV. I don't mess around. Like this is
awesome. And we'll link with the video game stuff because I know you're pretty big into video games.
You let me know, bro. You guys are on Valorant. Let me know. I'm nice.
Well, you guys, you heard it here first. Chiefs are winning the Super Bowl this year.
Thanks,
Our
Kyle.
man Kyle. Thank you for stopping by.
Appreciate you guys. Absolutely. Appreciate you guys.
We'll see you soon. Get a golf round in.
Yes, sir.
100%.
Yes, sir.
Peace out. See you in episode 5.